Good evening, everyone. Would you please stand as we say the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and welcome, everyone. For Chair's remarks, I've got a I think I'll just wait and do it under additions to the agenda. All right. Any open public comments? Remember, you can say anything during this time if you have something to let the townspeople know, or maybe you wanted to tell me off, or no?
You said you wouldn't allow that.
Yeah, I have something.
Uh-oh, she wanted to tell me off.
I'm begging. The deadline for the newsletter for September is this Thursday. Help! I have one thing.
You know, it's funny that you bring that up, because I got something the other day that I thought was quite interesting, because they were dredging the pond down here. And of course, that's when I was a kid, that's where we swam. We also had swimming lessons there at 7 o'clock in the morning. And remember, that is fed by the very cold, cold brook. And I think it was Glenn Hutchins that lives, or used to live, his family lived over on Stebbins Road, where our Mike Coughlin lives now. And he wrote a little story up in a group that I started on Facebook called I Grew Up in Vernon. And so maybe I'll forward that to you. That would be kind of a nice little thing to, it's just a short little story, but.
Yeah, can we put it on the unofficial website too?
Yeah, it's unofficial. Yeah. Okay, seeing any more? Then let's go to additions to the agenda. I have a few things. One is, 1, 2, 3 are new, under new business. One is, I was asked by Kevin and then by Dave Webb. As you all know, there was an accident up here. And what separates the town property and his is this little berm-like thing. And he's wondering if that could be taken down. So, what's the pleasure of the board? Do you want to discuss it at a later date or add to new business?
Let's say at a later date so we can research why the berm is there.
Okay, yes, because I was asked that, I did not remember. I thought it was to show where the line went, but, I mean, there's no reason for it really, because there's a cement stake there.
Yeah, that's the drainage or not, maybe?
No. Maybe.
So I just need to research it before we have to reconsider.
Yeah,
Okay,
I agree.
all right. Also, the fire pond was dredged, and that would be new business as well. We received a bill here from the treasurer who did not put, she received it today, so it wasn't put on any warrants today. So she just needs the okay to pay these. One's for $6,584. The other one's for $175 to fix the up and down thing on the dam. And I guess that would probably come out of the fire pond. We can discuss that later. What's the board's pleasure? I need a motion.
I move we add the fire pond to new business.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Motion's been made and seconded to put the fire pond under new business to be discussed later. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. All right, and the other things were, I received, I don't know when I received it, because I just picked them up this week. But the deadline is August 31st, and it's a paper that I have to sign saying that we have appointed somebody as town health officer and someone as deputy health officer. And I need to add it to our new business because I have to have the okay from you guys to sign it and fill it out and sign it and mail it in. So that would be new business. So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? It's been moved and seconded to add to new business, deputy health officer and health officer, my signature required. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. And I do think, we're going to discuss, we'll discuss it then, it's on the agenda, so we'll discuss everything then. I think that might be it. Okay, moving on. Oops, I'm sorry.
Can I add a discussion about the town administrator search committee?
Oh, yes, absolutely, and that would be under old business, correct?
Yes.
Any motion?
So moved.
Any discussions? Seeing none, it's been made, motion's been made and seconded to add under old business the search committee, administrator, search committee. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Anything else? Okay. Chris Norton, come on up. Or does it come on down?
Over,
Come on over.
somewhere, where am I?
You can sit
Over
right
here.
there, my
All right.
friend. You all know Officer Chris Norton.
Hey.
Welcome.
I'm always out at nighttime, so a lot of people don't see me.
Well, only I do, because I'm always out.
Yes, that is true.
So,
A couple things tonight, Mark wanted me to talk to you about. The first, custodian of records for non-criminal, any non-criminal paperwork that we have, such as old personnel records and stuff like that, pay stubs, anything that's non-criminal in nature, we've got to find somebody who's going to be appointed to be the custodian of records for those since they are public records, and it can't be us. So that's the first agenda. However you want to do it, I don't know if it's something you want the town clerk to do, or if you're gonna.
well, I don't know. I mean, they're the only ones that have the combination to the vault downstairs, and that's where they are kept. I do know that we had a private investigator that had asked for some personnel records of who was on the police
Right.
force from before, and I forwarded it on to the town attorney, and he said absolutely no personnel records.
And who would be, I know they're the custodian, but would they have to go through you to access those records, or would they?
No, all those records would be through the town itself. Anything that's non-criminal in nature, like, arrest reports and stuff like that, they would come see us for
I
stuff
think they're
like
in the
that.
vault, am I correct? Because I remember when they were turned over to us, and I thought they were in the vault. Would you know?
I don't know.
You don't know.
We have some stuff that we've been trying to weed through that are like accident reports and stuff like that we still have access to, that we've been trying to weed through to find out, just to make sure that there's no criminal records or personal, like social security numbers and stuff
Right.
like that. It's up to the board itself and their town attorney, to decide what's going to be given out. You have to go by law. and, you know, it changes all the time. It's, personnel records, it's one of those gray areas right now, but pay and stuff like that,
Yes.
you know, anybody has access to or
Right.
ask for. So there has to be somebody that's appointed to say, hey, this is the contact person you go to. Like if somebody came to me, I could say, go to the town clerk or whomever, and that's where you would, you know, fill out whatever paperwork or the meeting, or the courts.
How often do people request access to these records?
Not a whole lot, but as you saw, like private investigators will show up if there's, you know, say a civil suit, or sometimes even criminal cases, criminal attorneys or defense attorneys might contact you. That's really it. I mean, some people in the public do just want to see what's going on, so they'll come in and, you know.
I would venture to say that maybe it should go with the select board and the chairman being the contact, therefore, just like the incident that happened last week, you would be able to refer to the town attorney and say, well, wait a second, no, we're not gonna give you access to that, whereas, you know, I don't necessarily think maybe the town clerk or whomever would go any further, maybe they would just take that and grant access, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it would be best probably to have a policy of some sort that
Yeah.
says, you know, if this person comes in asking for this, you know, it needs to go to the town attorney to make sure, obviously, everything's up. You know, I would say probably, and I'm gonna say this again later, the Vermont League of Cities and Towns would probably be a lot of help in that. I know, they have people who they do trainings and everything else, so.
I think you're right, Mike, I think it always was the chairman of the board.
Well, at this stage, maybe for temporarily, we can say that the board or the chairman is gonna do that.
Mhm.
Get the guidance from the VLCT, and then they put a policy in place, and if we need to change it at a later date, we can always redesignate who's gonna be.
What's Andy?
Pay stuff go to the treasurer?
The what?
The pay information go to the treasurer?
The treasurer does have some, and even some of the old ones, because I did talk to the treasurer, I mean, on the personnel, on that kind of thing, but
I think they have a separate personnel.
yeah, they have their own
Yeah.
too.
Generally, police departments have totally separate personnel files.
Yeah, what Cindy has is, like benefits and stuff like that, that's the personnel that, that cannot be, any, you know, time or anything like that, that
Right.
is open and public information. Any suggestion? Anybody?
Here we go again. I know that Mark has some, town meeting reports in his office, because he showed them to me. Was it somebody else he showed, those are different, right?
Yeah, that's not what
Who's
he's
the
talking about.
custodian of those?
He's talking about,
You have them.
yes, those are different, that's town records. He's
Yeah.
talking more like, criminal records, you know, like somebody.
Persons records.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly right, and or, personnel, people that have worked here as police officers as well.
I would suggest that perhaps with someone from the select board in coordination with the town clerk, so that.
Well, I
they
would
can-
have to, because I couldn't get into the vault without them,
Yeah.
or the chairman couldn't anyway, so.
And there's the policy, the need for policy.
Anybody else? Nancy?
Did you say they were already turned over? Because I'm concerned if maybe they're in there, we should know what they are, that we should, you know what I mean?
No.
You didn't
That-
say they were already turned over?
No.
They're going to be.
No. You know, I was confusing what, the police and what attorney, when we switched attorneys and stuff like that, so that's what I looked at her to remember what it was, and, that's what we put in the vault, was the attorney stuff.
So he's talking about records that have not yet been given to anyone.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
So what's the board's pleasure before we move on to another subject with Officer Norton?
Would this be something the town administrator would therefore be in charge of later?
We don't know yet, we wanna do a temporary thing until,
So,
I would hope so, but again, we're we've gotta think about all of the stuff we're already burdening the town administrator with.
Yeah, you got quite a big list there.
You know, and the payroll, the salary, and the encyclopedia of tasks they have to perform. I mean, most certainly, it probably could be added to that, but I think temporarily, I think the board should control it and then designate it in the future if need be.
I agree with that, I'm just saying if we're gonna do a policy and later we're gonna ask them to do it, we might wanna write the policy for the later.
I don't know if we have to have a policy per se as a,
I think we should.
oh yeah, I guess what I was gonna say, just a motion to do that, for temporarily, yeah, until we get a.
Temporarily, yeah, but in the future, I think we should have a policy.
Well, I make a motion that temporarily, all this stuff goes to the chair.
Well, I'm not gonna keep it at my house, am I? You're gonna come with
I would
guns
think
and
not.
all this at my house to try to get the records. I'm kidding, go ahead.
Why not?
Forgive me. Go ahead.
That's my motion. That's under your control.
Need a second. Okay, any discussion with the board?
How much records are we talking about?
I don't know everything that we have. I do know we've got some, as I said, I know we had several boxes that we were going through, like accident reports and stuff like that. I don't know how many personnel records there are, that hasn't been shared
Boxes
with me.
and boxes?
I don't know what's in Mark's office, so.
He's
And
got
as
a
for the
little
other,
office.
as for the rest of the records, I mean, I remember seeing like 3 boxes, maybe 4 boxes, and they were just small boxes, so. You know, the big stuff like all criminal cases, we will remain custody of because we have to by law. Anything to do with the computer system, state systems or anything like that, we would be the custodians of those. It's just the other stuff, and there's not an overwhelmingly large amount. Looking through the boxes that I saw, I mean, there was, in these 3 or 4 boxes, there was incidents going back, 10, 15, 20 years, so it's not, a room full of stuff that I saw anyways. As for personal records, I just don't know, that's not something that I've been privy to at this point, so.
Okay. Any more discussion? Hearing none, motion's been made and seconded to temporarily appoint the chairman of the board to be keeper of the records. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Okay, I know there's more from you.
This is what I like to call the mess. Municipal
Oh, thank
ordinances.
you. Yeah.
I have never been anywhere where municipal ordinances were easy, so. I believe Mark forwarded some paperwork that I
He
forwarded.
did, and I didn't
to
bring
him.
mine tonight. The board got them
Okay.
2 weeks ago, but.
The first issue, which is kind of a pain, especially now since you're working on getting a town administrator, because usually the town administrator or the chief of police would fill that designee position that was at the top of the form. Basically, the Judicial Bureau for all civil municipal ordinance violations, they require everybody who's going to enforce civil violations be on that sheet of paper.
Right.
That includes, police officers or deputies.
Yeah, he
or,
had them all listed.
a health officer, fire chief, and any fire department personnel that are gonna do, like, say, fire violations and stuff like that. If you had an animal control officer, anybody that might have the potential to issue a civil violation complaint has to be on that sheet. And, again, it has to have one person picked as a designee who's going to receive correspondence and be the contact person for the Judicial Bureau. And also to sign off on certain paperwork that can come further down the road once everything is figured out. So that's the first piece that has to come. In talking with Mark, it would be best, a lot of times it's the chief of police that's that designee.
Right.
However, we're a little bit different kind of an agency. I mean, it's not like having a stationary police chief forever that you can just sign there and they would be that person. So you might wanna think about who you might want that person to be, because every time it changes, you know, there's
You
a
have
new,
to change the-
you have to change it.
Who's
you
the
know,
top guy,
Like,
right?
yeah, and if, say it was you, and then next year you get voted out, then whoever comes in, or somebody else would have to be it. And, you know, it's tough. It's a pain, it really is. I'm not, and every town goes through it. I mean, I work bigger police department, and every time we get new officers in, you had to go back and fill out the form, submit it again, and, you know, something changed, you had to delete them. It's a pain, they don't make it easy. But that's one of the main things you have to do. So you'll have to decide. I would guess eventually that would be the town administrators, because that's generally above, you know, the town manager would be the second above the chief, so.
Because the town clerk has the records now and has always had the official records or the official ordinances or whatever. And I've been working with Mark and the town clerk and her assistant in getting certified copies off to Mark.
Right.
So would it not be the town clerk because she has them in the vault? I mean,
Well, it can be anybody. The main thing, you know, once it goes past just having that person selected and being at contact, there's certain things with civil violations for municipal ordinances that are, like collection of fines. Unlike traffic tickets, which are civil as well, if somebody doesn't say pay a dog ticket, over the course of time, you can actually fill out paperwork, and that designee would have to sign it, and we could request that the court issue a warrant for their arrest. So we like to have it, you know, can be the clerk, it can be anybody, just whoever makes that decision, you know, really wants to be the one who makes that decision. So, you know, again, in my case, it was the chief of police where I worked last. Other places, it might be the town manager who says yea or nay, or, you know, head of the select board or whoever. It's just,
well, we have Lieutenant Anderson right now, so, but he can't because he's always changing, correct? Or he
No,
would change, or?
No, it's great. The
It has
sheriff's
to be
department
something
can't do
else.
it.
Oh, I see. I misunderstood that. I thought it
Well,
had to be the sheriff's
you
department.
could, but again, you know, you're looking at change, you know, as a big agency, I mean, things are always changing. Will I be here next year? I don't know. Will Mark be here next year? There's no way of knowing, you know. We hope it's gonna be steady, but you just never know. So it's best to have somebody, like, especially for municipal ordinances, to be that designee that's maybe not the chief of police, because, you know, say Mark's out of town and something comes in, and like maybe the fire chief had written a ticket for illegal burning or something,
Mhm.
well, Mark wouldn't be able to sign off on it because he's not here. So that's,
Yeah, because on that paper that he gave us a couple of weeks ago, it had all of the police officers that have worked here in town.
yeah.
Can we do like?
Yeah, could you do multiple?
Yeah, can we do multiple and just say, you know,
That I don't know, and that's where I was going,
without naming anybody, can we say any officer that's
I don't know.
on duty in town? I mean,
Or select board
or s-
member.
or select board member,
That's
yeah,
where I
probably.
was leaning again when I spoke about the leagues of cities and towns.
Mhm.
They would be our prime contact on that.
Okay, so you're asking us to find that out.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
it's important, very important.
So you don't-
Because we can't do anything at all until
Who has
that's
time to
figured
do
out.
that for me this week? Anybody? To get a hold of VLCT and find out who should be the designee, and if we have,
I can send that to you.
I'd appreciate it. And then please let Mike know that you've done so and what your answer would be. Oh, I forgot to announce that you were gonna take over.
So you just want to know who should be the designee at this
Yeah.
time?
Yeah. He's gonna be the head cheese, everybody, for a week. Just for a week.
I feel your pain.
All right, thank you very much. Okay?
Second part of the headache of municipal ordinances.
Because I really like the guy.
The other issue is civil versus criminal. Some ordinances are civil, as they're written that way, and tickets can be issued. Others are criminal, where an arrest or a citation would have to be issued. State's attorneys don't like criminal ordinances very much. Sometimes they'll enforce them, sometimes they won't. Again, going back, I was in, while we were doing civil ordinance violations in Springfield where I left before I came here, I was kind of in charge of doing that, and then we got away from it, and I found out very quickly that almost all of our ordinances were still criminal because they hadn't been updated in decades. And the state's attorney said, we will enforce this one, which had dealt with open containers in public, and that was it. And anything with alcohol you deal with, everything else, you either get to rewrite your ordinance or scrap it. So that's another thing that I would suggest probably the town attorney talk to the state's attorney about, to find out what they want to do, because, you know, actually looking through our ordinance book, we have some pretty good ordinances, but just a lot of them are criminal, and although we can enforce them, it's kind of pointless if we're not gonna get any backing from the state's attorney. I have actually seen state's attorneys say, you know, if you want this ordinance enforced, then we're gonna have to deputize your town attorney and basically have them prosecute the cases in court, which most town attorneys obviously don't want anything to do with. And towns don't wanna pay for that, it's pricey, so. That's something to think about, just, have him make a call and say, hey, out of our ordinances, if I give you my ordinances, you can take a look at them, or if you just list them off. Most are pretty much the same everywhere. And say, hey, what are you willing for criminal ordinances to enforce, like alcohol or disorderly conduct, or, whatever we have in there. That would be very helpful for us, and then also helpful for you, so where you can go back and, all right, so disorderly conduct today is a criminal offense, but the state's attorney doesn't want to prosecute it. Well, we can make it a ticketable offense and charge $500 or whatever we want to do for it. So there's still at least some sort of enforcement that can be done. Usually for more minor things like not fighting or loudness or whatever.
Do you have them electronically now that
I don't, but I should have time next week because both my kids are.
Yeah, well, we don't need an answer for the police department for a couple of weeks, but
I have.
if you put them in
Which one did I
electronically.
give you back? Did I give you back the
The
policies?
little ones, yes.
Which one, that's the policies? Okay, then I'm about halfway through the ordinances.
Okay, because I was gonna say, then I could send that right up to Larry and have him look at them and then.
I'll see, I might be able to do it this week.
Okay, just a simple email
One of
and
my
I'll.
kids is at camp, so, I should be able to, Alexis is working a lot, so I might have some time that I can
Yeah,
get away
and
from
then
home
I
to
can,
stay
and
at work and see.
I'll email them and ask him to do that. I guess I can take time to assist with that.
Well, if you need me to do it, I can do it.
Okay, then I'd rather him do it, because I will be busy.
Okay, so you're gonna get me an electronic version of the ordinances, and then I am going to contact Larry and ask him to review the ordinances with the state's attorney to see which ones we need to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Revise and stuff like that.
Can I ask a silly question? What makes an ordinance criminal versus civil?
Civil,
Good
it
question.
will specifically state, is a civil violation that is enforceable through the judicial bureau.
Oh, okay, so it will say it
So
right
it has
on
to have that
Yeah.
in
Yes.
the writing.
Yes.
Okay.
And I do believe, and I don't know if he gave you, I actually have a booklet, I think I gave to Mark, I'm not 100% sure, that is kind of a guide that tells you, wording that should be used and stuff, but I'll check. I think I gave it to him, but I'm not 100% sure. If not, I'll dig through my Iowa stuff and see if I still have one, and I can get it to you. So you can
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
So would you be so kind as to contact Larry and let him know that for the next week? I
Yeah.
need to contact him.
Yes, I will. And when you're done, could you, get a hold of Ina and or Nancy, and make sure that you have them all, because they have all of them. And I'm not sure if I did. What I gave you might not be a full,
Right.
you know,
Are they the most recent ones though?
as far as I know. But see, remember, I told you the book was bad and it fell apart?
Right, well, I wonder if I should keep going with what I have.
What you
Or
have,
if I should just, I mean, it seems kind of silly if I scan all the ones that you had given me and then I find out that they're not the most recent ones.
oh no, they're the most
But-
recent ones.
Okay,
But there may be one or two missing,
Okay.
depending, because my book fell
Okay.
apart, and I'm not sure if I found them all or not. Okay.
I think I covered it all,
Wow,
I think. Again, leagues of cities and towns, you know, I did, last time I actually did something like this was 8 to 10 years ago now, so things have changed, and I don't wanna give too much advice because things have changed, so the league, I know when I went through them, was immensely helpful in guiding me what we needed to do, and, you know, dealing with collections and whatnot, so they're very helpful. And again, I know they didn't come down for us, but they said they do travel, they'll come down and send somebody down to talk and do trainings and all sorts of stuff, so. Very helpful.
anybody from the audience that would like to, have any may have any questions for, Officer Norton?
Yeah, of course. I know, on that list that Mark gave us 2 weeks ago, gave the board 2 weeks ago, not us, it was only officers, when you mentioned earlier, a few minutes ago, that, it could be the fire chief and other people.
Yes.
Shouldn't they be on that list now?
Yes, they will need to be added to it. Anybody, I compiled that list out of the people who we've had working there, just so we'd have that to make it easier. But anybody at all who's gonna do enforcement of civil violations has to be on that list, or else they can't be done.
Well, anybody else?
So we don't forget.
Huh? Oh,
It's terrible.
I guess that's it.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Have a great night. Thank you, thank you. Okay, up next is pay as you throw.
Recycling
Yes, recycling committee.
All right, well, Norman, I see is
Norman,
here.
wanna come up?
Peggy's here. You guys want
Peggy?
to come on up?
Oh, come on up.
It's up to you.
You get a chance to be on camera. Come on a TV. Not everybody gets a chance to be a star.
She is talented.
All right, I am going to try and highlight our last meeting in 5 minutes or less.
Okay?
Vernon has reached the end of year 1 of Pay As You Throw. As you all know, we started Pay As You Throw a year prior to Act 148. Basically, the recycling committee was formed, and we were tasked with implementing the Pay As You Throw program to get the money out of the budget because of all of the fears with DUI leaving. So we wanted to reduce the budget. Obviously, Pay As You Throw is pay for your trash bags, and the goal of our whole program was the sales of trash bags would be self-sustaining. It would essentially cover the expenses of pickup, of disposal. We went crazy and we wanted to include the assessment of the Wyndham Solid Waste Management District in that as well. And we wanted to also include the cost of composting in that as well. And you guys stop me if I'm missing anything. So, we worked for months, put this program together, started July 1st of last year, and what happened? It was a resounding success. What happened basically exceeded all of our expectations. We were pretty much producing on average, and I'm sorry because I didn't put that one piece in my note right here. Prior to Pay As You Throw, we were on average producing about 15.25 tons of trash per week. After that, we dropped down to 6.23 tons per
Wow,
week.
what a difference.
The first, or prior to pay-as-you-throw, we did 321 tons per year on average. 793 tons per year. During pay-as-you-throw, we dropped that to 321 tons. The town has just been incredible at doing this. And if you do all of the math, it basically comes out to a 59.15% decrease in trash.
How much was that again?
59%.
Wow.
Now, in terms of recycling, Triple T has offered us curbside recycling. That curbside recycling is pretty much picking up 2.3 tons per week. In addition to that, we've got another 2.3 tons up at the highway department. So those are pretty much remaining constant. Prior to pay-as-you-throw, we had the composting bins out there at the town office. Those were picking up about a half a ton. That's doubled as well to a whole ton, thus we have 2 containers out there now. So, if you add all of this stuff up, between what Triple T picks up at the curb, what we bring to the highway garage bins, and what we compost, that is 5.6 tons that are not going into trash. So we've essentially brought our recycling rate almost to 50%. So half of what the town is doing is being recycled, the other half is going to the landfill. I mean, that is just amazing. The townspeople have really stepped up and done a tremendous job.
Wow.
Now, that being said,
There's always a catch, isn't there?
because we're not putting so much out to the curb, we're not buying as many trash bags, and that revenue we were hoping would offset everything has not offset our expenses. You know, that's not a bad thing because of the success we've had with the program, but we didn't meet our original goals of making it a self-sustaining program. Essentially, our expenses were about $115,000 last year. That's pickup, that's disposal. We're giving rebates to the stores that are selling the trash bags because of the overhead they incur. We had some startup fees. We didn't even include the assessment in there because we were off. But essentially, the difference was about $25,000. Now, the group just brainstormed as to what we could do to make that up. There were several suggestions. I have one recommendation. I'd like to read off the other suggestions we came up with. One of the suggestions was to only sell the small bags. Thus, you make people buy more bags. And these are just suggestions. We're not recommending any of that, and they're kind of negative. I mean, we've just made such a big accomplishment. I don't like to talk about the negatives, but the other suggestion is to raise the bag prices to cover the expenses. I think we figured 50 cents a bag additionally, another $2.50 per package. But again, another thing we could do is eliminate trash pickup altogether and do what Guilford does and just have the residents take care of their own trash. I think what the committee had come up with and is recommending to the board is, because of the resounding success, that we accept the shortfall, subsidize the shortfall, either by using the fund that we currently have in place or adding it back to the tax bracket. But more importantly, we just wait and see what's going to happen in another year. The other towns around us are using the same price structure that we came up with. One of the things that we did when we implemented this price structure was to take a 25% decrease in trash. Obviously, 59% is much more, so that's going to skew your numbers. Another thing which I am going to mention is kind of negative, but it needs to be brought up because we've made this recommendation. A lot of people are using that old New England Yankee tradition and stuffing as much trash as possible in those trash bags. Now, we always talked about, there's a weight limit on those bags, and you also see that some of those bags are kind of flimsy. Now, if you do everything right, and you're just putting in your plastics and things like that, it should be fine. But, you know, you've got people throwing food in there, and cat litter in there, and cardboard, and whatever they can get, they're stomping it in there, and some of those bags, Triple T has reported to us that the attendants can't even pick them up by the drawstrings, they're just gonna break. And these guys have to bear hug these bags to get them into the truck. That's unacceptable.
It is
I'm
unacceptable,
sorry.
it's disgusting.
So we've essentially said that we're gonna start enforcing the bag limits. You know, we're not gonna run around with a scale and say, oh, this is 21.5 pounds, we're gonna sticker it. But if somebody picks it up and it's obviously way over the bag limit, they're gonna get a sticker and their trash isn't gonna
Well, it's gotten so bad that sometimes we have to get the driver out to help the guy in the back put it in. 'Cause they literally have to have 4 hands underneath it to get it to the truck.
Yeah, and that's,
Liquid weight right here.
that's the kind of service these guys provide. Rather
Yeah.
than lift it up
They're-
and leave a whole bag of trash there, they're physically altering their schedule to take care of that.
But you're saying not a bag limit, you're saying a bag weight limit.
Yes.
So if
Right,
someone
bag
wants to
weight
put out 10 bags.
Oh, that's
Yeah, they
fine.
can.
That's fine.
That would even help.
First I thought you were saying just.
No stuffing 50, 60 pounds of trash in a 30-gallon bag.
Right.
That's what we're saying. So when we start to come across, or when Triple T starts to come across that, they're gonna sticker it and leave it.
A couple of weeks they've been sticking.
I haven't heard any complaints.
Well, I think they know.
I think it'd be a good reminder,
This is my house.
to go in the newsletter is the weight limit. Cause I mean, people may have, because of the good success and everything that we've been hearing about how well we're doing, I mean, people may have forgotten that there was the weight limit. You know, and if it's not something, you know, it might just be one thing here or there, you know, one-time thing comes up that you've gotta throw away something heavy and you forget about the weight limit and.
Might say that a lot of the towns are jealous of what Vernon has and did so quickly and had such great success. Brattleboro's running about 57% reduction.
Wow.
So you also have to look at that, is how much are you saving on your tipping fee if it's not there? That's, your town theoretically saving a ton of money.
Is there 57% though because the apartments aren't participating in it?
What they weren't there before. The permits weren't there before, right? So I would say no, that's not because of that.
Oh, they weren't.
They weren't there before.
But yeah, the other towns are envious as the success
Very
which we've had.
And I would also say that as the Green Up Day coordinator, I know when Brattleboro was starting it, there was all the, you know, the talk about, well, people are just gonna throw away their trash, and I didn't see that in Vernon. I've done Green Up Day now, I think 2 years, so I had the first year without, and then the first year with, second year with, and I didn't see any difference. I don't see our neighbors throwing trash out on the side of the roads, which is nice, so. But I do wonder, because I was trying to add up the after numbers to see if
They
they
don't add up.
They don't, so I wonder, like, do you think?
One of the reasons they don't add up is because there are several residents who have hired companies to
Oh,
come in
okay.
and take their trash.
Okay. I was wondering if maybe, have there been any reports of people burning trash? I haven't heard any, but.
I have heard a couple. The sheriff's department has been phenomenal in you know, enforcing the stuff as well. We've had a couple of illegal dumpings in the bins and at the highway garage that they've investigated and they've actually caught people. There has been a little bit of shenanigans, but for the most part, it's been really, really good. What the recycling committee would like to do is we'd like to do another, or we'd like to continue our public information blitz. Martin has offered to give us a website, or not a website, a page on the unofficial website where we can start doing stuff. We'd like to do at least one more mailer to remind people your Vernon newspaper is gonna be an excellent opportunity to do that as well. So we would like to continue with the informational stuff. We would like to ask the treasurer to start working with us to produce quarterly reports, so we get a better grasp on the whole bag situation and the inventory, stuff like that. I got your last report, which indicated that the discrepancy is 13 cents, so that's like phenomenal. That's great. We talked about expanding bag sale locations. The only problem with expanding the locations, and by that I mean going into Brattleboro and getting them at Price Chopper or Hannaford's or something like that.
Can I interject something here? Because it's something I saw on the internet, that one place, they purchased bags, this is Bravo bags, mind you, and then at another place, they purchased them and got charged tax for them. Are they taxable, or?
Brattleboro had a big runaround to determine if they were taxable or not, and I believe the answer was no, they weren't.
No, yeah, because a
But
friend of mine.
that's gonna depend on the store and who's doing it. The issue with us going to other locations, specifically other than the Guilford store right now, Kevin can tell you there's a heck of a lot of maintenance doing that. Well, there was for me. Having to drive there and get the money and drive back. See, you're at least here. I wasn't. I had to come from wherever. If we were to go to outside agencies, such as chains like Hannaford's and Price Chopper, the people who supply the bags, which is Waste Zero, would have to do that. They would deal with the vendors, and they would accept the cash, and they would do the inventory. We wouldn't do anything. They would take care of it. Our bags would just magically appear at these places. Now that's great. Residents have more opportunities and more places to purchase bags, but that's going to increase the overhead. They're going to charge a bit to do that. So again, that's something that the board should think about. Are we content the way it is now, or do we want to get bigger? If we get bigger, it's going to cost money.
Have we thought about doing something with vending machines?
The problem with the vending machine, we brought that up in one of our meetings, and vending machines often take your money and don't give you a product.
That's okay,
And
I
if
see
you-
people beat the heck out
You
of them.
stick $15 in a machine and don't get your bags,
Oh, boy. Goodbye,
that could
machine.
cause some very aggressive actions.
To say the least.
Ask me where, if it's Wednesday night and I suddenly realize I don't have any trash bags.
No, that happens. I mean, Guilford sells all of their bags on Wednesdays for the most part.
When I tell them you can go to,
Well, I
I don't know
can't-
what time Guilford store
Days,
closes
yep.
and stuff. I tell them you can go to Guilford and they're like, I didn't drive all to Guilford. I'm like,
No, I know, Wednesdays, it seems like there's a lot of poor planning or a lot of opening the cupboard and seeing that the spouse took the last bag, but yeah, Wednesday's a tough day.
So where, for the record, where are they being sold now?
Currently, they're only being sold in the library, the town clerk, the treasurer, and the rec center, and then off-site at the Guilford store.
Okay, so just throwing this out there, because the nice part about Guilford is that they're open at night, right, when we're like on our way home from work
Yep.
or whatever. I was sitting here trying to think of places in Vernon that are open at night. The only one that I could come up with was Nesbitt's.
Yeah, stop in, have a beer, buy a bag.
No, we
I mean, it's worth
didn't even cross our
asking.
mind.
I
be
did,
honest with you.
yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, I know that's one of the nice things about Guilford, is that, well, it's on your way home for people who are working, working up north and then come home, but it's also nice because they have the evening hours. So, I mean, without a Vernon store that's open in the evening, I mean, maybe we could, and I think they're closed on Mondays, not Tuesdays?
That's me,
I know, I don't know. I don't think Wednesday is a night that they're closed, so they might. So I mean, it's worth
That's a
asking.
very valid-
I
that's
could
a
ask
valid-
Cam if
That's a good
he's.
idea.
Cindy, go ahead.
That's a great
I
idea.
would like to reiterate, my office is open at 6 a.m. to 4, so
Oh, yeah,
not
that's
a lot, I mean, more people are learning that and coming in, but
Yep.
I am open at 6 for
Yeah, they
people
can
to come in.
pick
If
it up
Wednesday
on the
night
way
doesn't
to it.
work,
Yeah, that's true.
Thursday morning at 6 o'clock.
Yep,
There you go, yeah,
wow.
that's a mad
Yep.
dash.
And the library is open until 6, and
Oh, that's
Saturday
right.
mornings,
Okay, that's every day till 6?
Monday through Friday,
No,
Thursday.
Monday through Thursday, The library is open until
6. And then Saturday mornings, 9 to
And-
12.
9 to 12 on Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
Treasurer's office is open at 6 a.m. until 4 p.m. So you could get them on Thursday mornings if you forgot them, before the trash comes.
And the rec is open. I mean,
And the
when-
rec is
especially-
open.
Well, I mean,
At
everyone
night.
knows when the pool is, cause you can see whether they're open or not, but when they're back at the school, when school's in session, they're
There
there
at night.
until like 8 or 9
And they
o'clock
do
at
sell
night.
them still. They don't sell as many because a lot of people don't
Right.
realize, but they do sell them during the school year.
And
Oh,
you just
yeah.
go in on the
Yeah,
side
I
door,
didn't- I
which
didn't
is,
know that.
unlocked in the evenings. When school's not in session, the side door that goes into the gym, that's unlocked, so it's not like you have to traipse through the school. It's not, you know.
Well, yeah, that school kinda doesn't want people traipsing through the school during school hours.
Right,
Yeah.
but that's why, I mean, the door right by their
So,
office
but you could
is
go
open
in the
and
evening,
unlocked.
it's right there, because,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
well,
that door's locked.
that
during
door's
school
locked
hours.
when the school is in session.
Well, I guess I'm
You
going
have
after
to go
the
through the
evening, yeah,
front.
I'm going.
Yeah,
to
well,
the
Bronna
evening.
was saying it's.
Yeah.
Yeah, but after hours it's open.
After hours,
Yeah.
it's open.
All this information needs to be re-sent and,
Yeah, that's our goal.
and also, you said at some point that, that kitty litter is in the trash when it could go to the cow?
Yeah. People
That
still
needs to
throw it
be-
away.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to compost though.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
And
still.
then we're gonna get to that in a second. No, that's the,
I put
Dirty
mine in,
side.
and I have a,
but it used to be that cat litter used to be the largest component of Vernon's trash,
Yeah.
or the weightiest component of Vernon's trash.
yeah, I have to drag mine sometimes across the street.
Now you can smell that cat odor as soon as you pull in the highway garage parking lot.
And see the lava too. Good. Yeah.
Well, maybe that's something you could put in your
We
newspaper
need all
as well,
that,
yeah.
yeah. You can have a page, you can have 10 pages, I don't care what you need.
I can't get you 10 pages on Thursday.
It's only 161, but, I just was reminded yesterday that, that's my subscriber list. But I was reminded yesterday that, I need to bring paper copies to Betty Chamberlain, and she'll make sure that Birches have them, and I need to bring paper copies to Huckle Hill. So the unofficial subscriber list is larger, because the library makes paper copies too, and people can grab them and grab and go.
Nancy?
Yeah, Nancy, go ahead.
We might have already covered it, but all the information that you had just gave out, if you could write it down for Bronna, and if she could put it in the newspaper for like 6 months. Repeat for a while, and maybe, you know.
Good thinking.
Thank you. And the website too, I mean, having that unofficial, I haven't delved into it much, but having that available so that people can, you know, on their smartphone, where can I get trash bags tonight, or what can I compost, or whatever information.
I've been handling that unofficial part.
So, that leads us to the
Yeah.
composting.
Protecting the
Segue.
town only.
There's been, I got two things to talk about with the composting. There was an issue this summer, based on, you know, just the heat and the amount of compost we had. I received a lot of complaints about the fact that there's creepy crawlies in there when they open the bin.
On top too.
We're gonna try and combat that a little with, Triple T has agreed, it's gonna cost us a little bit, but it should be negligible, to decontaminate those bins and clean them on a little bit of a regular schedule, and use some chemicals which might prohibit the birth of those. So we're trying to address that.
The problem is that the birth happens before we even get it to the can.
Yeah, the life cycle is pretty.
Yes. That's what I was thinking of, with just poor men having to, and/or women picking them bags up.
Well,
They have to manhandle them. Sometimes that happens in the
in the
trash.
trash, that's happened to me, just, I wanted to get it out of the house, so I put it in the garage, and then 3 days later, I went to bring it to the bin, and they were
Oh, see,
already
good.
spawned.
See, you ordered them to us.
Yeah, there you go.
What, you know, they're all family. But, so, finally, I guess, the bull in the china shop. Currently, the recycling committee, specifically Bob, a little bit myself, but Peggy and her husband have been involved. Even Patty O'Donnell has gone down there and done a little bit of maintenance. A group of volunteers has basically taken care of the composting now for 4 or 5 years. And we're reaching a point where it needs to be handled by the town. Everyone's looking at me.
Yeah, like, what do you mean?
I mean,
Come with your car.
we essentially go down there every weekend
Oh,
and make
that's right.
sure that there's a fresh bag in there. We take the bag out, we open it up and visually inspect it to make sure that somebody didn't throw a bag of bottles in there. We pick up the stuff that somebody inadvertently didn't get it in the trash. General maintenance of the site, just to make it a more appealing place to go and do your business. And we just can't do that anymore. Bob has been incurring expenses for years now, just buying the bags on his own and the gloves that we use. And we're asking.
Because I was thinking that must be an awful job if there's little, pests running around.
We're asking that an equipped person be able to go in there and just do that little bit of maintenance.
So somebody that is employed by the town?
Essentially, in Brattleboro, the highway department takes care of those bins that are up by Fairground Road. I mean, it's convenient, it's in their area. They have the gloves, the equipment, all of it know how to do that.
Then we should have, the highway in here and talk to them.
It's just gotten to be above and beyond the realm of a volunteer to take care of that. So, to summarize, Vernon has done one heck of a job in terms of pay-as-you-throw, reducing trash, and everybody needs to pat themselves on the back. And we also need to thank Triple T for all of the assistance that they've provided and the insight, and they've gone above and beyond as well, and we appreciate it, especially the recycling committee.
Well, thank you, Vernon citizens, for doing such a great job. And thank you, Triple T. Thank you, Recycling Committee. We work together, that's awesome to me. And together, that's what's gonna keep us together,
I might say that
working together.
Vernon did this in about 3 or 4 meetings with the recycling committee. And Brattleboro, after 17, is still frailing to get it right.
Yeah. Wow, that's
So-
awesome.
So you really should be proud of what you got, and maybe some new tooling. As far as Triple T is concerned, we don't care if it goes private or stays firm service. We make just as much money private as we do public. We said that from the beginning, but obviously when the town wants us, we're happy to do that.
I hope we stay.
We're recommending we stay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I hope we stay this way.
Question for you, I think I had asked you about those compostable bags.
Yeah.
Would that be a possibility for another revenue stream? 'Cause like, I haven't gotten the whole composting thing down pat at my house, partly because it's disgusting. And if I had, I still can't find, I haven't gone to Brown and Roberts, but I remember when I go to the compost bins, I've seen green compostable bags in there, and I haven't been able to find them, although I haven't put that much effort
Brown
into
and
looking
Roberts
for them.
did have
I
them.
never get downtown, so, I mean, is that maybe something the town could look into if we sold them versus Brown and Roberts?
Definitely, you could. It
because
would be
we
more
would be like-
overhead as well, but
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be easier and keep profitable. You just
Yeah.
charge the same amount or maybe a little bit more
You
than you
mark it up,
purchase.
yeah. I mean, and then you could even, it might help with the insects, like the maggots, if it's contained, no? Okay. I mean, I don't know,
What-
if people are
kinda
using bags more
wonder.
often, it might cut down on
I would,
the, maybe not.
it's a lot easier. The bags are
Yeah.
100% easier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we might get more people composting if the easier you make it, you know, the more people are gonna do it, and if when they're picking up their trash bags, they can also pick up compost bags, it might be, we might see more composting
I
and maybe
can,
some
I can
other-
see if the agency, or the company that we use now even offers that.
Yeah.
I'm sure they may.
I mean, you might even
If
harbor.
not, the Solid Waste Management District has got, and Norm probably, Peter.
Peter would have a ton of that stuff on his desk, for sure. Our manager.
Okay, I'll take, just a minute, Peggy, I got two ahead of you, okay?
Okay.
Vernon Roberts has, and so does the co-op, these cute little paper bags called Bag to Earth. And they're wonderful because have been composting at the cow for a couple of years, and my plastic bags got to stink. And these you just, you know, after a week, you know, a few days, if the little paper bag with a lining is full, you just crumple it up and you put it in, and then you have a whole bunch of little paper bags to take.
We did have a bunch of samples of those that Bob got, that we gave away on July 4th, and they went like wildfire.
They're wonderful. And they're $4.99 or 10 at the co-op. I don't know how, Vernon Roberts is selling individual bags, and I didn't see a price on them. But I get a 10 pack for $4.99 at the co-op. And as a member, I get a discount. And as a senior, I get a discount.
Peggy?
I just wanted to, tell people that maybe have small families, like my husband and I do this, and it works really great for us. We keep our compost in our freezer,
I do that too.
and, when we're ready to go to compost pile, if it's in like a plastic shopping bag, you just put it, it's still in the bag, it's frozen, you take it down there, you empty it, you shake it, you dispose of the bag right there in the trash barrel. Or in the summertime, we found it's better to get the green compostable bags, leave that in the freezer, all of our compostables go in it, still frozen, you take it down, you open the lid, and still go in.
Yeah, I
If
do
you have
that
a small
too.
family or
It
want it
helps.
more often than once a week, it works.
Yeah, except for the kitty litter, that
The
stinks, so I
kitty
try not
litter
to use
can't
that.
help you there.
Okay, we gotta-
I've seen people just take their cat box, they have two of them.
No way.
They take the cat box, they leave one there, and they just drive down with it in their trunk and dump the box in. And then they come back and put a fresh one, and then you can do it with the other one 2 days later. When I used to man the station, I had people that did that. Okay. So, thank you, Vernon.
Yes,
And
thank you,
that's
Vernon,
just-
very much. You should be very proud of yourself. Thank you.
Yes, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, next on the list is Kevin. Come on up, Kevin. We each have a thing here that Kevin sent to us. Now, that's what he got before. 15, 18. This?
No, I was looking at Cindy's sheet, it was $13, not 13 cents, sorry.
No.
But still.
Yeah. Okay, Kevin?
Okay, I've spoken with Matthew Coombs, who was the assistant custodian here at the town of Vernon, and is currently part-time with the highway department on a per diem basis. And I spoke to him about coming back as a per diem assistant. It's not a full-time assistant, as in 20 hours a week, every week. It's just a per diem position, basically to cover when if I'm sick, vacation, something like that. And he has agreed that he would like to come back. The advantages, he's already trained, he knows the town, he still works for the town. So basically, he would be able to start in September when I go on vacation. And so with the board's permission, I would like to bring him back as a per diem.
And the previous board had spoke to Kevin, and I believe it was in November, December, did we not ask you if you needed an assistant or something? And And you had said at that time that if you did, you would ask for a per diem only.
Correct.
Now, Matthew used to earn $13.18 with benefits when he worked here before. As he is per diem on the highway, he is making $15, no benefits, and that's what also Kevin is asking, that he
Correct.
just stay at the $15 level, no benefits.
So,
I'll second that.
Okay, now let's discuss it before we go further. Anybody discussing it?
Is there,
Hours?
sort of how, the contingencies, I guess. Obviously, when you're on vacation, he'll come in and work. When you're sick, he'll come in and work. But that's it. Unless maybe some big project comes up or something like that. Do you anticipate that?
I don't anticipate any big projects coming up, but should a big project come up, in the times that I've spoken with Matt, I feel that he'll be very flexible and he'd be willing to come to work with, some notice.
So as of right now, it's just when you're not here.
Correct.
So I would just like to amend the motion to reflect that, if it were to be additional, side-by-side work, so to speak, then Kevin would get not authority, but Kevin would get permission to use him on, you know where I'm going? On one of
Yes.
these non,
Yes, because we don't want to put him on as a part-time employee.
Exactly.
So, and he's not,
Right.
he's not asking for that, right?
Correct, and
Okay.
and in speaking with Matt, he's not interested in that
Yeah.
part-time position that he had before.
All right, so it would be only that time. So friendly amendment? Okay. And second? All right, motion's been made and seconded to allow Kevin to hire Matthew Coombs on a per diem basis. How do I want to have that in there? Only when Kevin is not here. And at $15 per hour. That's a friendly amendment. And with no benefits. Yeah, I know that. We need to spell things out for some people, like myself. All those in favor, any discussion, please?
Not only when Kevin's not here, but as needed too, right? You said only when Kevin is not here.
I believe that's what we wanted, no, but you,
When Kevin is doing like a big project, and like a
Well,
big
then
project
he's
like
gonna
cleaning
come
the
to us
library
and-
Right.
carpet or something, is that a big project?
No.
Which, by the way, thank you very much, on behalf of the board.
Thank you.
Uh,
Turned out well,
would
actually.
you want
I
to
think
do
we
that, or
could,
would you
the
trust
motion
Kevin
right
to do
now
that?
says that when Kevin's not here,
Yeah.
if Kevin needs additional help, I have no problem with
Oh,
him coming
okay.
to the board and saying,
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
can we use Matt to
All right.
tackle this?
I understand now, thank you.
That was where I was trying to go with that.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Ayes have it. Sandy, you said aye? Okay. I'm sorry. Okay, Kevin, you're all set.
All right, thank you.
And
Is there
can-
anything else?
No, I
Talk
don't
about
see
your sand in the floors
Oh, yes.
starting tomorrow,
tomorrow morning, yes,
and so that means no use.
correct. Vault will still be available.
Yep.
This, I'll call it preschool for lack of a better term, that will still be open, but the hallway down to the seniors room.
Okay, there is a couple of meetings this week, one on Wednesday evening and one on
Thursday.
Thursday.
I have
Uh,
not been told about it.
Yeah, I just was barely told, so, is there a way that maybe in the foyer that they could get in? And have their meeting, have their meetings? There's two meetings, I think there's a finance,
That's in the morning.
oh, it is, so you're all set. Yours
The
is
only
it?
thing is we warned it for downstairs in the town office, if we don't
Okay, they'll
have
have
it
to
there,
come down this way, down the stairs, that's
I
all.
mean, we could meet right there. I don't
You can
see-
meet there, you can
Yeah.
meet here.
Yeah, if you don't mind my
No,
conglomeration out there. The foyer
For your meeting,
with
what
the
time's your
library,
meeting?
It's the Vernon Voters Alliance
Yeah.
at 6:30 on Thursday.
Thursday of the month.
Can we meet in the foyer? If we can get some chairs up there?
Can you get some chairs up there? Do you have the room though?
Is it big enough for you guys?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's summer.
All right, so that'll be accommodating, right?
Yeah.
That's better than
If we have
nothing.
to, you need
And
to
it's a
choose.
Thursday night, the library's open, so the
Yeah.
foyer's doors will be open.
Oh, yeah,
Excuse me?
yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. I'm sorry, we're open till 6, yeah.
All right, I have a key.
Oh, that's right. Okay,
Okay, thank you.
thank you, Kevin. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
What about the key thing?
Oh, we will discuss the key thing. We're gonna put that on a meeting, for future agenda. So, we will try to go, away from September, because I know that your mom's coming, so you'll wanna spend time with her. So, we'll discuss it, at that time, but maybe, 1st of October?
Okay. And also, next door here, Constant's still not here.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're
we
gonna
moved
talk about
that.
it later.
We're gonna talk about
I
that,
think the next meeting, right?
the next meeting.
Okay.
But you don't have to, I've already mentioned a little bit to him, unless you wanna send me something, via email, so I can share it with everybody, if you have something more that you wanna say about that.
Okay, like I say, I'd like to meet with a board member and Mr. Webb and find out exactly what we're looking at.
Yeah, that's another thing I wanted to say too, was Kevin and I had talked today, and, he had mentioned that maybe we could do that, as a matter of fact, I said that I would ask, maybe if the board would recess at this time, and we take a walk over there, and he can show us.
Well, I think we wanna find out why the berm was there. I think Sandy's got a good point.
All right,
Then we
let's
can
do
look
that,
at it
we'll worry
after.
about it another time when you're
Okay.
around, okay?
Okay, very good.
And I am liaison, so, after this week, maybe I can walk with you and, after we find out some information, so we have something for the board, okay?
Okay.
All right, Kevin, thank you very much.
You guys still have enough bags, right?
Yes, I'm estimating we probably still got about 3 months
We
supply.
have 24 large in the North School and 64 small.
We got plenty of smalls.
Yeah, all right.
I
I
think
just
I
don't know the
am.
turnaround. I know it's not 3 months, so we're in good shape.
Yeah, there for a while, we were averaging about 8 cases a month.
Okay,
Very good.
thank you.
Yep,
Okay.
all right, thank you very much, good
Thank you.
night.
Have a good night.
Okay, so, bills and warrants. What is the pleasure?
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve and pay the following warrants.
Okay.
Is she changing her numbering system?
No, I think that,
2015,
yeah,
it's because of the
end of the year stuff, yeah. coming.
Okay, 15-16.3 accounts payable, $49,603.07. 31S payroll, $12,053.97. And 32S payroll, $10,687.22.
Set.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to pay 15-16.3, accounts payable $49,603.07. 31S payroll $12,053.97. 32S payroll $10,687.22. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. Okay, approval of minutes.
Madam Chair, I move that you approve the minutes of August 3rd as presented.
Second.
Oh, you guys are slowing down tonight.
It's hot.
I know. I feel your pain. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes of August 3rd as written. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. I only got 2 ayes.
He wasn't here.
I
Oh,
abstain.
that's right. You recuse yourself.
No, abstain.
Yeah, that's right. We did discuss this, didn't we? So 3 ayes. 1 abstention. Okay, ratify the tax rate. I did put in there at the end of everybody's packet. I wasn't doing great, but I did okay. Maybe I gave it to everybody else but me.
I don't have it.
Madam Chair,
Wait a minute, please.
I'll give it to you after I read it.
Thank you. Yes, because we got, I have to explain why we're ratifying it, because, we had to I had to, get at least 3 from, okays from the select board. Because, we had, Chip from Nemrick down here, and he was inputting the tax rate in and discovered that it was, wrong. And so, we had to change it immediately, so that's why we're ratifying it, instead of just doing it now, back then. So, go ahead, Sandy.
I move to ratify the correction and to set the 2015-2016 municipal tax rate at 0.4059, the local agreement rate at 0.0008, the homestead rate at 1.1618, non-residential rate at 1.0354, the total homestead rate for 2016 at 1.5685 per 100 assessed value, and the total non-residential rate at 1.4421 per $100 of assessed value.
Gotta have a second. If you wanna do that. I mean, all of you said okay that at the time. There you go. I got mine.
Okay.
I had shuffled a few papers. I need a second, or the, motion's gonna drop.
Make
Going
a
once?
second.
You gonna make the second?
I'll make the second.
Okay, we
but
don't have to
I'm
pass
not
the
gonna
motion,
vote on
we
it.
either have a
Right,
second
yeah.
or we don't.
I have a clerical point that Sandy may be able to help. I didn't vote to do the first motion.
But you did the second one, because, I, emailed you.
No, you didn't.
I didn't, okay,
And you
you
called
said you
us.
don't redo.
Call
So,
me.
Yeah. I called you, all of you, that's what I did, I didn't email anybody. What's your clarification? What you wanna know? Not that I can help you, but we'll try.
Well, that, I didn't do the first vote. Can I do the change to the vote that I didn't do?
Yes, because you made this, you okayed this motion. You okayed the change.
You said you got a yes for everyone except for Mike.
I did?
Yeah, except for Mike.
Then you can't even
Yeah.
talk about it then.
Right. So you were asking me for the second, and I'm thinking,
Oh, that's why you didn't, okay. Thank you. Thank you for that clarification.
I'm just
Oh, you take all
trying
the
to
time you want.
reread this, refresh it again, make sure I've got the right numbers, cause emails, okay.
Yeah, these figures here are the ones that, yes, you can see that down the bottom.
I just wanna make sure that cause you, I don't know if you retyped it or
I
if you
did.
copied and pasted, I wanna make sure that what
I copied and pasted some of
Sandy
it.
read at the top is matching what Cindy's saying at the bottom, so.
Right,
It is.
because we had to ratify it, not, we've already moved this once. We just,
Okay,
through,
good.
through,
Yes, it is.
telephone conversations.
Right,
And, so,
yes, I'm good.
okay. All right, motion's been made and seconded to ratify the correction and to set the 2015 /16 municipal tax rate at 0.4059, local agreement rate at 0.0008, homestead rate at 1.1618, non-residential rate at 1.0354, total homestead rate for the 2016 at 1.5685 per 100 of assessed value, and total non-residential total non-resident rate 1.4421 per 100 of assessed value. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And those abstain? One.
Abstain.
Okay, that is your tax rate, everyone. Of course, you got your bills all ready. Because they had to be done, and the reason why it had to be done is because everybody had to receive their tax bill within 30 days. 30 to 60 days, they have to get them out, and this was getting close to the 30 days. That's why we had to do it on by phone. All right, and another one was to ratify the rate of pay for the town clerk's assistant. Now, what we did was, when the motion went through, it was to, for Ina, and remember, if everybody remembers correctly, I said that we don't hire or appoint the assistant. So we just went on, we didn't. And then I emailed everybody and asked you if, what we should, her rate of pay be, which was beginning assistant town clerk. And it was to begin right away, as soon as she started, which was, I don't know what day, doesn't matter. So I need a motion for that, and then I have something to add to that after we ratify that. So I guess the motion should be, we should have the rate of pay, which would be at, the beginning of the grid for assistant town, clerk, and that she started getting paid when she started.
I just said that I have to abstain.
Yes, you do. You weren't there. It's just
Yeah,
Mike,
that's what I remember.
Emily, and I.
I'll make a motion to ratify the rate of pay for the assistant town clerk at $15.16 per hour. Be effective whenever she started.
Well, it was good grief. When was it you started? Was it the 29th of May, or?
It was the third week of June,
No.
wasn't it?
No. Because I sent an email to,
You sure?
no, on June 4th, I sent an email to Cindy saying that you were hired.
Okay, maybe it was the second week.
I would say
Yeah,
effective when
that's why I
you
said
started.
effective the start of
That's, yeah, that's.
her employment as assistant town clerk.
That's,
Second.
yeah. Okay, motion's been made and seconded, that, Nancy gets paid, or the assistant, Nancy, gets paid, 15-16 an hour, and it's effective, when she started. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And
One abstention.
one abstention, okay? Also, within that email, I think that it was, also discussed about whether, Nancy was temporary or not. I think that there is now, and I think I've included this because, about individuals covered. Now, if we leave her as a temporary employee and, instead of an employee, part-time employee, then she can't get benefits like, holiday pay, that kind of thing, and you can see what happens here. So So what's the pleasure of the board? Leave her as temporary or put her in and take the temporary out? She is, just leave her as assistant town clerk and at 29 hours. No, assistant town clerk, let's leave it that.
I guess my thoughts are that she would remain temporary.
With no benefits of
Correct.
holiday or anything, okay.
Until, unless we hear that the, Susan Miller, the elected town clerk, is not going to return from her FMLA. I mean, as far as I know, Susan is planning to come back after her 12 weeks are over. In which case, when that happens, Ina would return to assistant town clerk, and Nancy would not stay on. So, I think she would remain temporary until that arrangement changes, if it does.
Anybody else?
And my logic for that is, when Susan comes back, Ina would revert back to her assistant town clerk, and now we've got 2 assistant town clerks, and I don't think we have the budget to support that.
You don't.
So, then you've got, well, who stays on? Is it Nancy or is it Ina? And, so that's my logic for it, is that, as far as I know, Susan's coming back after 12 weeks. And when that happens, Ina would go back to her, I assume 29 hours? Is that what whatever she worked before Susan went on leave? And Nancy would no longer work in the office.
I always struggle with that because to me, I'm looking at
I
it
don't
and
think
I
it-
see what you're saying, but to me, temporary is like a temp.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, where what she's performing is a part-time employee performance, and she should be entitled to be able to get that. And once, I mean, the motion was once Susan comes back, everyone reverts to their old roles, and Nancy's gone, so I don't think there's any confusion about just
That
the
she's
title.
temporary or not, right.
I mean, I'm looking at, it clearly says what it says, but to me, a temp is a temp, not a temporary, not a figure of time, or that's the wrong term, but an interval of time. Because right now, if you think about it, Cindy's only a temporary treasurer,
Yeah, we appointed her.
but she wasn't elected.
I know, we appointed her, so she's been hired, actually. That's the difference. But
We appointed Nancy.
No, we didn't.
Well, we didn't
No, we
appoint her,
don't,
but
we don't. That's-
we gave her the position until Susan comes back.
No,
No,
no, Susan
Okay,
did.
yeah.
Yeah, Susan.
Ina did.
And Susan.
Ina, or
Oh,
Susan,
we don't-
Ina,
We
someone
can't,
did.
we can't do that, that's
That
the only
office
thing.
did.
But we can change her from temporary, take the temporary term off of her and give her permanent, I mean, not permanent, sorry.
Part-time.
Part-time.
That's
Char-
what I would,
What would you call it? Part-time, temporarily part-time until, no, you wouldn't, you take the temporary right
it's
out.
just, don't cloud
Just-
the issue with
Just don't
temporary.
cloud it, yeah. Yeah, I agree.
A
It's either one or
part-time
the other.
employee working until the town clerk comes back and everything reverts back to the way it was.
I think that's gonna die. You don't have 3.
Well, can we vote?
Yep, I don't have a motion though.
Well, then I move we take the temporary out of the position title and use part-time until Susan returns.
Do I have a second? I'll second it. Just so we can vote on it. All right, motion's been made and seconded to take the temporary title off of the assistant town Clerk, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Noes?
I'm gonna stay. I was in the-
You were here. Okay, it did not pass. Now, another thing is, I was asked today by, the,
Oh, because we don't have, the three.
you have to have three.
Wait a second, there was two.
Yeah, no, you have to have three. Ina, that said that she would like Nancy because of, a few problems in, I hate to say this, and I don't, because I'm not a delicate person. But there are some problems as to where or if people have been buried. So Ina would like to add a few more hours to Nancy, just in the month of September, so that she can go to the cemeteries and find out where people are or
How's she gonna
not.
do that?
Would you like to explain that?
Well, it isn't just the cemetery issue, it's also the checklist and the elections issue.
Oh, yep, okay, yeah. she
I
did
just went
mention
to a
that.
training for 2.5, or 3.5 days. The state is putting in a whole new system for elections, how to deal with the checklist and everybody who votes and so forth. And that's going to be implemented sometime in October. We have to have our checklist all ready to be converted into the new system, and there's a lot of work to do on it. So part of the time she wants me to work on that. And then the other part of the time is to try to update the cemetery maps. There's people who want to buy cemetery plots, and there's just a lot of confusion about what's available, what's not available. The card system has not really been kept up. So we have volunteers working on the card system, and we want to go out with the maps and just try to bring everything up to date, find out what's available, what isn't, and
Do you know how many more hours a week that you would be adding, or is it a total of hours for the month that you're gonna add in,
Well,
or?
we talked about it, and we thought that if from starting next week to the end of September, if I just had 10 hours a week to work on those two
Oh,
things,
that's right.
concentrated just for that time period, I could probably catch things up.
Okay. Any questions for Nancy?
Do we have a request from Ina?
Just that Ina asked me today to bring it up.
Has the bridge been done?
Excuse me?
Did it?
Yeah, I see you, Nancy, I'll get to you in a minute.
Did the checklist get purged?
It's not happening by the BCA? It's not happening until September.
Okay,
It's more
Nancy.
voter participation information that hasn't been put into the system, that needs to be put in from several years back.
I'm just wondering where on the agenda this is. This was not added into the agenda. You've
No.
been discussing several different things.
You're
And maybe-
absolutely correct, I just
maybe
brought it
that
up
should
underneath
be-
there.
Put on the agenda and then discuss it.
Yeah, she's absolutely correct. Do I have a motion to put it on the agenda to talk about it?
Yeah, we can still do that. I thought we had to do the additions and stuff at the beginning.
Yeah.
At the next meeting?
No, well, we could go back if somebody made a motion to go back. That we can do.
To go back to the additions? Okay, I make a motion to go back to the agenda.
Oh, that way, it's all covered, so.
Okay, yeah, I do, and I don't, the procedural stuff is not my forte, so I make a motion, we go back to the, additions to the agenda.
You gonna second it or not?
Can you do that?
We could add it under, new business. We absolutely can. Because that's what old and new business is for. So So we either do that, or we just wait until new business. Wait till new business?
Okay, so was the term
Motion-
rescind my
no,
motion,
yeah,
or?
yep.
Okay.
All right, we will discuss it, under new business.
Changing.
As is, afforded us through, Robert's rules. Okay. All right, the search committee.
All right, I have played some tag with some people at the LCT, but have finally been able to have some lengthy discussions with a person named Abigail Friedman.
Yes.
And she's very enthusiastic about our quest to find a new town administrator. She congratulates us on making that decision, and indeed, the league has helped towns recruit several town managers and administrators over the past 30 years. However, it's not included in our membership. It is a contracted service. She has a whole list of stuff they would do, right down from the job description to basically everything. Most of that administrative cost is covered within their fee. The fact that we've already taken the first step and created that job description is great, but they would be more than happy if we were to hire them to fine tune it and go over it and things of that nature. Their services that include but are not limited to providing back office support, placing ads, receiving apps, assembling packages, assisting with search committee reviews, scheduling interviews, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they run the whole gamut, and I can send you this if you like. They are willing to put together a proposal packet for us, which explains everything and gives the town examples of the ads they've placed, examples of all of the, the RFPs, the job descriptions, all of that. They would like to come down here and give that presentation to the board if we so desire. Costs are, I don't want to say a moving target, she gave me ballparks, but they vary depending upon, the number of applicants, the type of advertising you want to do, you want to advertise across the country, things like that. Typically, I stapled that. Typically, time and background checks generally cost the town around $3,000, depending upon how many applicants actually apply for the job. So
Wow.
like for somebody like Brattleboro who had 100 applicants, it probably cost them a pretty penny. Advertising costs generally range between $2,500 and $3,500. They always put a cap on their proposal, so in the event a couple hundred people do apply, we're not going to get killed. So that's the nuts and bolts. The board needs to make a decision whether or not we want to spend money to have them do that and do a professional job, or if we want to continue to work on it and do it ourselves. One of the things that we did discuss was the fact that the town has given the board permission to spend this much this program year, or this fiscal year, and essentially by the time we hire this person, they're not gonna hit that full salary cap. So possibly we could use the money that the town is, or the voters have already provided us with to spend a little of that off to get these professional services. I left our conversation, obviously we talked about more, but I left it at that, waiting until I could see how we wanted to proceed as a whole.
But if we advertise, it's gonna cost us pretty much that anyway, correct?
What?
25
to 3,500 advertising. And then another, let's go the whole route, 3,000 for all of the background and back office stuff. So you're talking maybe $6,000 out of the money budgeted. That, what's 6,000 in terms of this person's salary
Less
a
than 2
month?
months.
Yeah.
Cause I just calculated, 50,000 divided by 52 weeks times, just the 8 weeks that we're into the fiscal year so far, and that's almost $7,700,
So we've already got that to pay.
Right.
Yep.
I would personally, as a taxpayer, I would get up and Not that as local board, we wouldn't do it right, but we might miss something.
I don't know about that, you might, but I don't know. I would. I'm kidding. No, I agree. I totally
I
agree.
think just, there's only 3 members of the committee
Yeah, I
here
got-
tonight.
I got one question.
It's a great undertaking to do this. Don't you, do you agree to that?
Yeah.
And I agree with you. We are not professional HR people.
Dale, did you have something?
He's picking my brain here because he's reiterating my points. I really believe that this base ground search, you know, to weed out the undesirables right off the bat is so valuable. All of us have a lot going on in our lives. We're not gonna know what questions to ask or how to do the background search. I think this is gonna be money well spent, you know, to get that done and bring forth, you know, a list of least qualified candidates so we know they've done the house cleaning up front. That's my opinion as one of the search committee. We put a lot of time into just getting, you know, the whole RFP out there to get, you know, the list of what we're looking for. I think somebody else should pick it up and run with it at this point in time and then bring the candidates back to the board to say, okay, we've done the legwork, we've done the heavy lifting, and now we know that these people here meet the prerequisites. It's up to the board, you know, or the search committee, however it's involved, to then narrow it down.
No, I agree. And besides that, if we did advertising on our own and did all that, it's still gonna cost us money.
Right.
That's what I was
Yeah.
saying to you. Yeah,
So what, I mean, if it's the general consensus, I can contact Abigail and set up a time within the next 2 meetings for them to come down here and put this whole presentation to us. Because that's the next step in their timeline, to do that. And then they would lay it all out, they'd probably meet with the search committee and go over what we've done and then take it and run with it from there.
I would like to see that.
I would too. I absolutely, yeah. Need a second? Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Any more discussion before I move on? Made and seconded that we move forward with Abigail, VLCT.
Abigail Friedman.
Abigail Friedman.
She made the motion, I
Yes.
seconded it.
So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it. Yeah, that sounds great. So we'll put them on a future agenda. You said about 2 weeks? Did you
Well,
say?
what I would do is I'll contact her tomorrow and see if
Okay.
she's available for the next meeting or the meeting after
All right.
that. Is that okay? to
Yes,
use-
that's great.
All right, I'll shoot for the next meeting.
All right.
We, I don't know if we warned the budget meetings, I mean, maybe we could even do it on a Tuesday and add that to the warning
We
for,
could. All right, that's an
Yeah.
available option.
Yeah.
Do you want to
Those are
choose a
normally
budget meeting or do you want
workshop
to do
meetings,
I'm
but
thinking whatever they're available for. But, I mean, I guess I'm saying I'd be willing to add that onto a Tuesday budget meeting night if it makes them, if it
if it works for them, but the
enables to
thing
get
is,
them here
the
sooner.
thing is that's a budget workshop, and, trust me, you're gonna need all that time for doing budgets, and if we brought somebody down here for 2 hours, that just ate into those 2 hours that
But
we were
it's gonna
supposed to
eat
spend.
into a select board meeting as well.
Well, if I put it in there though on a select board meeting and we call it a 2-hour thing for them or an hour thing at least, but, budgets,
So are you saying that we want to have a third Monday meeting
I mean,
opposite a select board meeting?
or, no, I don't. But we do have, we are gonna meet September 1, 8, 15, 22nd, and the 29th.
We're not
meeting
meeting September, we're not meeting September.
August
Oh, yes, we are for the budgets. Yes,
I
we
thought
are.
we were starting the 8th.
You changed it.
I thought we changed it.
No, we changed our Monday meeting till the 8th because of,
No, we changed it to the 31st. Or did we actually change it?
31st?
We talked about it,
oh, that's
did we
right, we
actually
do,
change it?
yeah, we did. The 31st of August. Oh, good Lord.
Cause that way, cause it's a 2-week, Yeah, well,
I
because
wasn't
there's,
there for
no,
that.
but because there's, it's one of those, August has 5 weeks,
Yeah.
so we just,
Now, hold on, isn't Martin doing something on the 31st in here?
No, the subcommittee on fiber optics is the 24th.
Oh, okay, he pushed his back too.
Well, that would be all right anyway, because,
I
the
know,
select board has to take
I
precedence
know.
anyway. But,
I don't know that we made a motion, I'm looking at the,
no,
Did the board decide to hold the first meeting set for on August 31st, 2015? So
yeah,
oh,
okay, so that's 6:30. So, August 31st, and then we have, the 21st. Those are Monday meetings.
Right, I'll shoot for one of those two meetings, and if that doesn't work, I'll
Any
email the
Tuesday.
group,
Yeah.
and we'll figure it out from there.
yeah, I mean, I guess
I mean, we
we
can,
can
we
add
just,
another night, I guess I'm saying I'm willing to do a night other than a Monday night, because here we already are 2 years into the fiscal year, and I'd like to see it going, so I'm willing to give up another night, or, you know, to meet with them.
So we're meeting 8:31 and 9:21.
No, 9, yes.
yes, 9:20.
And then we're not, I thought we said we weren't meeting the first Tuesday in September, but we were meeting the third,
I thought we were
second,
doing all of
third,
them,
and.
all 5 of them.
That was-
But we could, if that's better for them. Oh, that's 2 meetings in a
Budget
row, that's
meetings
why.
are September 8th, 15, 22, and 23.
Yeah, I remember now, because, the 31st and the 1st. Get it, Chris? Yeah. You didn't want 2 of them in a row, I mean, for that, for that.
For the first one.
8,
Yeah.
15, 22, and 29.
Okay.
Okay.
I'd like to see it on a Monday though, I'll tell you right now, because the budgets are bad.
Okay, it should be known.
But we can also add into, October if we have to for,
31st.
Yeah, 31st would be great.
Well,
Let's just get it
we
on.
don't wanna,
yeah. it would
the
be
problem with this is the longer we push it out, the longer the process takes, because
good. Well,
we're
then let's
still.
try the 31st.
Right, this is still gonna take months and months to get through the whole advertising and then get the
Yeah, I
applications in and
absolutely
then weed them out and then
But I-
interview them. and
My
then-
only problem was budget. I don't care about a Monday, but, yeah, yeah, I mean, if we have to have a
Yeah.
special
Oh,
meeting.
okay.
I don't
Okay.
mind, yeah,
All right,
I don't mind doing a special meeting.
I only need 48 hours, advance notice.
let me talk to her tomorrow
Okay.
and I'll have a better
All right,
grasp tomorrow.
okay. All right. That it?
Yes.
Okay. New business fire pond? You have a bill here, 2 of them?
You bring,
Yep. 2 of them, I guess both of them are bad, I didn't hold 7 plus 2. One of them's for $6,584, and the other one's for $175, and Cindy needs our permission to, put it on the next one, but she wants to know where it should come from, because, the first one with 6,000 is, dredging the, fire pond. And, she needs to know where the money's gonna come from. They do have a fire pond, maintenance fund. And the second bill is because apparently a 16 feet of, a 3/8 inch chain broke during, the opening of the dam.
And we're paying that, why? We broke it, didn't
No,
we? We
it
broke
wasn't, I don't know if it was broken, cause I was there, because I was driving by and I saw Bobby Miller on the dam. So I was a little concerned that he was there by himself, so I.
Oh, gosh.
Jumper.
Not that I thought he was jumping, but, cause we used to play on that when I was a kid, who would jump off.
It's late.
But, well, it's okay. But as he was turning it, it was quite hard, and he
So
had,
we did it.
yeah.
Okay, all right. I thought it was something that
And I don't
happened
know if
during
it's
the
broke.
excavation.
But, he couldn't get it up, it was quite, hard to get up, and then there was stuff hooked to it, and,
Well,
anyway.
I agree, it should come from the fire pump fund, but my bigger concern is we're kind of blindsided by this.
We were.
And B, it seems as if it's above a limit where it should have been gone out to bid.
Right. And they're also, there are grants for,
Yes.
dredging fire ponds and keeping them clean too, so a grant should have been applied for here.
So do we hold that up and talk to the fire department, or do we?
That is the question.
Just to throw it out there, the budget is
No.
$4,000 for the
No,
fire
no,
department.
that's, yeah, that's not there. This is a separate fund. Instead of,
Oh, fund.
yeah, I don't know if it's appropriation, it's a fund or appropriation, something. It's voted on at town meeting.
It's quite a bit, because now they look at the,
Well, yeah, because they were discussing, I don't know if it was last year, I don't think it was last
It
year,
was
but.
for the, they were gonna put the underground tanks.
Right.
Yes, but they were, okay, that was one thing, but they do have, fire pond maintenance, fund that is just for maintaining them, and.
Please tell me it's called that.
Keep going with the appropriations, right after the budget, it may be in the appropriations.
Don't see it.
Okay, then, look, in the first few pages, that was our funds.
It's not called the
It would be
fire pond fund, and I missed it, but.
I would say it's probably,
Solid waste, town upgrading, copiers, parking lots. Reappraisal,
I would have said it was an
Unblended.
appropriation too.
forest fund, farmland
You
production,
remember that as an appropriation?
dog fund, town
Did we
clerk
send, we
recreation,
sent some
professional
appropriations back, did we?
services, emergency medical and
did they,
ambulance.
I don't think they would have done that one.
Oh,
I
it
think
is
it was
Fire
changed
fund
to-
4,000.
I don't,
Page 31.
and that's on appropriations or under the fire department budget?
It's
Under
in
the
fire
fire
department budget.
department.
We don't want that one.
No.
Fiduciary funds, town employee pension, town of Vernon Grange, LSG Brooks. And Memorial Fund.
I thank you though, but that's not the one we were looking for.
Cemeteries, speaking of taxes raised, general taxes. This is all, that's.
I wanna say something, but I better,
What?
no, it's just my silliness.
Is that for another? Oh, maybe it's these things. School.
No, wouldn't be after school.
What's the date on that invoice?
Well, I don't know.
Just got it today?
Yes, she just received it today, it says 8/3.
So we're gonna just table that until our next meeting, or is this going to research it?
I think we should because,
Which is 8/31.
yeah, and bring it back for the next meeting. I think that's better, because we really do, because,
It won't get paid. if we do that, though.
yeah, I would say 30 days
Unless we
was
do a
their
fast
invoice.
check.
Well, if we have to, if we researched it and it's an okay thing, then why can't we do a fast check?
Yeah.
Because it said, Bobby Miller, according to Todd Capon, who Cindy talked to, Bobby Miller advised him that the select board was going to take care of these two bills. I don't ever remember discussing these, but, I mean, you know, I'm not always with it. Well, I know I am, but
No, if it was since I've been.
just an excuse.
I don't know what drudging means or dredging, so if we had.
They had to
brought
clean it.
If they had brought it to us, I would have said, what is that?
Yeah.
And I don't remember that, so.
Well, apparently,
I don't think so.
the last hurricanes that Irene went through, and some of the big heavy storms that went through brought a lot of rock and
Oh,
debris
yeah.
down through, and
Yeah.
it filled it up so that when they needed to get water, they were sucking up the,
That makes sense, I
Yeah.
just didn't know what that
I mean,
term.
it's something that needed to be done, but it's just that
But it just
it's over,
Could've
it was
gone out for bid.
done without asking
So
first.
were there any permits required? Or it was,
Don't know, Sandy, we didn't get to talk to anybody.
Could it have been a previous year's appropriation and therefore we don't have any funding for it because isn't that the case when we have
No.
these
If
things?
it was a previous year appropriations, it's there. It should be there.
We
It's
can't
just like a
carry
fund.
over stuff, something. but
This
I'm
is an
not sure.
appropriation, it's different than a budgeted item. It's
That is
different.
really confusing, that's.
I know.
So where are those in the report then?
Right at the end of the budget,
At the end of the budget?
you look, you see appropriations.
Some of them like separate articles?
they were usually,
But wouldn't, if it's a
Some are.
fund, shouldn't it have a balance?
If it's a fund, it's been established and it will.
Yeah.
Madam Chair, I move that we table this until our next meeting.
second.
Okay. Motion's been made and, just a minute, motion's been made and seconded to, table this to the next, until the next meeting, which would be August 31st. Any discussion? Go ahead, Dale.
Was this an emergency item, or should this have been put out to bid?
Yes, it should have been put out to bid. No, it wasn't an emergency item that I know of, but we don't know. I mean, we couldn't give an honest answer for that because we didn't
That's why we need to table it.
So that's why we need to table it and bring in those that are involved. Yeah, right at the end of the budget, you'll see, right there, those are appropriations. Okay, not that, oh no, that's not, where is that, are the appropriations? Maybe they weren't in there this year.
Well, that's what I was looking at
I don't
last
think
year's,
they
'cause I
were.
got last
See,
year's
that's what
too.
I was gonna say about something, but I didn't, I thought I'd better hold my peace.
Miscellaneous appropriations, this is 2 years ago.
Fire
Dunkley
pond,
Fire Fund.
That's
Rename
Dunkley.
South Vernon Fire Fund. So,
that had 80,000 in it.
yeah, and that's, this is the town report 2 Marches ago, so March of 20.
It still would be there, it would still be there.
Right, but it's not up, it's not current up to date,
What, didn't
that's all I'm
they-
saying.
Yeah,
Didn't they, change the name of it? from Dunkley
but
Fire
that's
Fund?
Dunkley.
Yeah, it says rename South Vernon Fire Fund.
Okay, but that's South Vernon Fire Pond, that's not this one. This was for those tanks. Remember, we
They moved
put it,
everything into that one thing.
okay, but it doesn't matter, it
Yeah, but
says,
that was
it's,
2 years ago,
that's right, it says Dunkley, I know,
so
but
it might be different now.
we didn't vote on it last year.
Anyway, we tabled it, we'll
Yeah.
move on.
Because, it says Dunkley, it doesn't say anything about, this one.
It does say in parentheses, rename South Vernon Fire Pond, but
But that's where,
That's what it says,
we
that's all
took
I'm
the
saying.
Dunkley name off of it because he didn't want the Dunkley name associated with that, but that's the South Vernon Fire
Paid
Pond.
for it himself.
Right. So, anyway, yeah, there you go.
Can we vote on the motion?
Yep, okay, thank you. Motion's been made and seconded to, table this. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, ayes have it. Okay, so now we're gonna go to new, health officer. So what I need is okay to,
How did you deal with the assistant health officer?
I never heard back from, Mark or Annette, so I don't know. And that was before,
Did you appoint both of them?
yeah, both of them were
Are
appointed.
they both listed on that?
I think that we also appointed,
Yeah,
did we?
You said when you were appointing them, Heather Frost was asking if she could share the.
No, I know that, and I think that we did, that's why I was just thinking, whether we voted that or not, because I think what we were going to do was put Heather in, during the winter months, and Annette through the summer, both as deputy officers. Because,
This was on the March, that night,
yeah,
the election night, right?
No, it was
no,
after.
no, it was after, it was while we were appointing.
Oh.
And, but I don't know if we did or not,
You were
but
gonna ask
I think
Mark.
that, excuse me?
You were gonna ask Mark about it.
Yeah, no, I know, he didn't get back to me, that's what I said, but, that's all right, I can do that again. But, I can do that probably tomorrow. Well, before I leave for the airport. The only thing is I'd say we could hold this off, but we can't. This has to be into their office before, because who the state has, their term as our town health officer, will expire on 8/31. And we need to, get, Mark's name up there at least,
Madam Chair,
yeah.
I make the motion that we authorize the chair to fill out the form and sign the appropriate applications.
Second.
All right, just for the town health officer and the deputy one, we'll hold off, at least we can hold off on that one.
Well, if you've appointed one, put that one in, you can also appoint to a supplemental later.
All right, okay.
Or why can't you just put both?
I'll just put them both down, because, I know we had discussed that, and I know that it was the, I
So
know,
then
but,
I would like to amend it that we add all three names to that.
yeah, okay, do that, please, yeah, because, I know we wanted to do that, and we were just waiting for Mark to get back to me,
Or
so.
friendly amendment that we include all three names.
Yes.
Friendly second?
Friendly second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded that I sign this, fill these out and get these, and fill them out with three names, being Annette and Heather, as deputy, and of course Mark that we appointed again, for, health officer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, ayes have it. All right, and then, under new business, I wanna add two, cause I did forget one that we cannot overlook. One is Nancy, Assistant Town Clerk's, Town Clerk's request, and then, Drew Hazelton, He's, I guess he's from, Rescue Inc. and would like to be, on either the next agenda or the agenda after.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made to add these two to new business. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay, so let's go back to the town clerk's request of adding 10 more hours per week for, the month of September onto the assistant, temporary assistant town clerk. What is the pleasure of the board? They need this for checklist and, for cemeteries, cemetery maps.
I just wanna clarify that the hours, the amount of hours that were requested by Ida.
Yes, they were. She asked me today. Because I was in there doing packets that seemed very light and uninformed and uninformative. That's my doings. Because they were bad, sorry.
So I move we accept the request of the town clerk to add 10 more hours temporarily for the next month to the assistant town clerk to allow her to work on the checklist and the mapping of the cemeteries
With no benefits.
with no benefits.
Okay.
It's actually 6
Um,
weeks. It's actually 6 weeks, to the end of September.
Yeah, we said for the month of September.
Well, I
She
didn't
said for the next
include,
month.
yeah.
It should be 4 weeks.
So effective immediately till the end of September.
Friendly amendment,
Yes, second.
friendly second?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so motion's been made and seconded to grant the request of the town clerk for 10 more hours per week, effective immediately until the end of September, for the assistant town clerk with no benefits. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any noes, nays, abstentions? The ayes have it.
You look at any discussion?
Oh, you want one?
No, you already voted.
You can still discuss it, no?
Never mind, choose.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Should have raised your hand.
You didn't promise it before when I voted tonight.
Oh, well, I've been trying to ignore you.
I know you have,
Yeah,
for 65
because I do that all the
years.
time.
For 65 years.
Yeah, I do that on purpose, Sandy.
I know you do.
Okay, just so you know. I won't lie about it. And then the Drew Hazelton. He is from Rescue Inc. And I think I gave you a copy of it. I don't think it says much, but, he's offered to do to present a presentation to any area select board that would like to have him come to a board meeting so that they can better understand where the assessed monies are going and why there may be an increase in the amount that each town is going to be asked to contribute.
I think we could hold off probably until things quiet down after we do our budgets.
Isn't that part
I
of
don't
it?
know, he did say to me that,
The rescue part is, but we don't have any control over that. They just send us a figure. So, you know, we're gonna deal with the budgets during September. We can have him come in October.
well, there was a meeting last Tuesday, and I was going to go, I totally spaced it, but, this email here is part of an email that I got from, Dick McNary, stating his displeasure that, somebody from the board didn't go, and that it was very, important that we do have, this man come down and talk to us, and he's very busy, so, he said sooner the better, probably sometime in September. We could make it for the 21st of September, if that's. You okay with that, Sandy? Okay. Any discussion, Sandy?
What if we,
I'm really sorry.
what if, why don't we, I don't wanna belittle the importance of this, but what if we first find out when we can get VLCT in here, and then schedule him for the other meeting in September?
Okay,
And if you're gonna be gone, I would be more than happy to contact him once we know and set that up.
all right, well, then let me send you, Dick McNary's, email, and from there you can,
Is that acceptable to everyone?
everybody, okay?
Yep.
All right, any more discussion on it? Then let's move forward. All right, you do that.
Is that okay?
Yeah. I'm not gonna be here. All right, public participation on any item. Oh, yeah, you did, great, thanks. I probably lost that.
I have it.
You're good. Thank you. Thank you, Vernon Cemetery Committee. For your mission statement. And Barbara, you wrote it, thank you very much, I appreciate it. And I guess we probably should vote to, whether to put this on the new business and accept their mission statement, please. All right, motion's been made, do I have a second?
Now, hold on, we passed new business.
No, because she said, hold on, you have something there.
Oh,
I
you're
gave
right,
it.
okay.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded to add the Vernon Cemetery Committee mission statement to the new business. All those in favor signify by saying aye, unless there's more discussion, sorry.
Are we just adding it to the agenda?
Right.
Okay, yes. Aye.
Aye. Ayes have it, okay. Now, what we'll need is a motion to accept it.
So, can I do that since I'm on the committee? Yeah, so.
Why can't you?
Well, I didn't-
We'll let you because I didn't let you discuss something
Thank you.
earlier, okay? We'll let you get away with it.
Thank you.
Okay. I need a second though.
Second.
All right, any more discussion? Motion's been made and seconded to
We don't know
accept,
what it says.
excuse me?
We don't know what it says.
Okay. No, I didn't want to read it.
Okay, never mind.
I'm kidding. Vernon Cemetery Committee mission statement: to maintain Vernon cemeteries in a way that conforms to Vermont law, promotes a safe and tranquil setting, and honors and safeguards the community history they reveal, as written by Barbara Mosley, August 2015, and approved by the Vernon Cemetery Committee, August 2015. Motion's been made and seconded that we accept the mission statement of the Vernon Cemetery Committee as written. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, now we can move on. Public participation. Any items on the agenda can be discussed. Hearing none. I have nothing. This is the private eye guy. And, and one correspondence. And it's a municipal leadership. Just a minute. Is it something to, with what's on, has been discussed on the agenda? And we'll stop right here before I go into correspondence. Go
I'm
ahead.
just wondering if it's possible to go back to where you had a motion and then you had no discussion before you voted.
We can, if the board so chooses. We've already made the motion. But Sandy might want to say something, and it's not fair for her to not. You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
We're not going back. Anyway, I don't know. Reduce negativity, improve morale, and get results. Here's Sandy, you wanna read it? I'm picking on you.
I will take it to heart.
It's a thing, yeah, pass that back and give it to Mike as well. That's the only correspondence that I received, other than the private eye letter, which you can, which requested, yeah,
Oh,
sure you
no,
can.
I think you said.
Yeah, I did, I sent it.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, I'll read it. I mean, let the girls read it. They requested a personnel file of a previous police officer. And so I sent it up to the attorney, and the attorney said absolutely not. Cannot give that kind of information out. The only thing we could is, you know, how many hours she worked or whatever, but that was not what they were requesting, so. Okay, and because, well, I've got future agenda items, and I got one thing to say. The key policy, we will do, when did we say? Probably the 31st, you wanna do that then, or?
Did you say today?
Today.
We don't need a date, do we? Just.
Yeah, we need
Fee
to,
policy we're supposed to discuss tonight, so.
what is it?
It's on here for August 17th,
Yeah, I know it was.
so.
Hey. Forgot it.
When's Kevin on vacation?
September, I mean, and he's gonna be in and out, that's when he's gonna use Mattawa. Yeah, his mother's here from California.
Okay, I just, when he left, I didn't think we.
It's
it
not a
didn't-
set, you know, week or two. or
Right,
whatever.
no, I know, but when we were talking about stuff coming up, I didn't get the feel like we were gonna be talking about this in 2 weeks for him. I just
Yeah.
don't know if he's
Maybe, oh yeah, I
available
think,
that,
didn't
you
we
know
say
what I
something
mean?
about October maybe?
I,
Yeah, let's wait, let's just leave it as a future.
Yeah,
Okay.
undetermined
in the
future.
Yeah,
meantime,
undetermined.
the planning commission has been having difficulty getting in here. None of them have a key.
Yeah, I know, I was called last time. Yeah, I think I found somebody's keys. I don't remember whose, but, yeah, I'll, maybe Bob Spencer should have one.
Could we temporarily get him one? I can talk to Kevin about it.
Yeah.
If you can just send him an email saying I'm gonna come get one,
Yeah.
I will get one for them.
All right, before I close the meeting, I want to say something. Last meeting we had, Sandy abstained, and I told her, I said, no, don't abstain, you either yes or no. And I was wrong. And apparently, according to VLCT's little information site, it says that a lot of boards in the state of Vermont are wrong in what they do. To recuse themselves is only when like there's a conflict, because I had explained to Sandy that that's what an abstention is. That is not what an abstention is. You recuse yourself if there's a conflict of interest. And what was the other one? There was one other thing for that. Or you hadn't been there for that meeting, okay, period. Yeah, then the abstention was for, and I forgot my paper, the abstention was if you didn't agree with the motion, or you didn't agree with anything, and you had not discussed it, then you could abstain. But if you were in a discussion and you still didn't like the motion, it's too bad, you have to vote either yes or no. And so I apologize to Sandy for.
Wasn't there a point that was made that if you plan on abstaining from a motion,
You can't be in the same
you
room.
can't be in the same room,
Right.
and you can't participate in the discussion?
You can't participate in the discussion, and you cannot be in the same room.
If you plan to abstain.
If you plan abstain. In other words, if you don't want the motion, you don't want any part of that, you don't wanna be involved in that one particular thing, then you move yourself. And it did say that a lot of boards in the state of Vermont, and I will pass this like to Bronna maybe, and maybe that's something you could stick in there if you wanted to, but I will forward it to some of the committees, because it is very important that you follow that. And especially I'll send it to you guys.
So if, so like Mike, when he wasn't here for the last meeting,
Technically, I shouldn't have even been in the room when we were discussing the minutes, according to what we read. It's kind of absurd for
So-
something as simple as
But you
minutes.
can recuse yourself.
that was my thing. So the recusing is for, the conflict of interest I'm aware of, but if you, like, if
you weren't
can't-
here,
Right,
if you weren't here or something like that is a recusal.
that's a recusal as
A
well.
recusal, whatever
Okay.
the word term is.
Yeah, I think it'd be beneficial if you said that.
I will.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'll send it around to others too. Okay, we have no media.
I make a motion
Sure we do.
that we adjourn.
Ian, did you have any questions?
We just do gavel to gavel, we don't ask questions.
I'll second that.
All right, motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Alrighty then. I just want the town of Vernon to know that if their need arises, to please contact Mike Correspondence for the next week through the 27th. I would appreciate that. That's it, thank you.